You will need some kind of an inoculation booth unless you just do uncontrolled dusting experiments like we saw yesterday. But if you want to work with more than one isolate at a time, you will need an inoculation booth. I think this is the Australian one at Cobbitty, University of Sydney. That's the one I use. It is locally manufactured, and it's got a very simple system where I can flush the entire, I can close the door or the lid in front, and then I can flush it to wash out all the spores of the previous isolate. I then leave it for a minute or two for the spores to settle or to be washed down, and then I can come in and inoculate the second set. And I have very little contamination in that system.
You have UV light too? UV light?
No UV light, no. Just water. And it's on a solenoid switch, so it's electrically controlled. You can just open and close. It's quite easy to use. But you can also open and close the taps. That doesn't really matter. I briefly explained the Cdl system. These are the little inoculators that we use. Those are the collectors, and those are the capsules. Now, they're about that big in real life. I don't have a scale inserted there, but the capsules fit into these applicators or inoculators as well as into the collectors. And these are then connected to a pressure pump or a vacuum pump, and then you can suck up spores, collect spores, add the oil, and then spray them onto your target seedlings. It's quite easy. There's the particular pump I use. It's convenient to have a dispense set, as it's called. You can calibrate it to add so many microliters at a time. Add the oil to the capsules, put in the atomizer and the connector from the pressure pump, and when you close the top part with your finger, it'll spray. The gelatin capsules, just for the record, they are size 00. They're fairly difficult to get hold of. I don't know whether the companies think we will put medication in them and take it ourselves, but I got, I think, 50,000 from Tom Fetch in Canada, and that'll last me a long time. We had the oil again. It was also mentioned yesterday. There are several products on the market: Pegasol, Soltrol, and I think, Javed, you mentioned you can use different products as well. Where I live, it's difficult to get hold of. It's got to come from the US, and you can only buy them in 200-liter drums, so they cost you quite a bit of money. But once you have it, it'll also last you a long time. Dew chamber, extremely important. We need an efficient incubation system where you can create high humidity without excessive runoff of moisture on your plants. Now, there are several ways to do this. There are many types of chambers. You can buy them commercially. They will cost you a lot of money. The easiest way, the most simplest way, is just covering your pot with a plastic bag and then tightening the bag at the bottom, folding it on, or put an elastic band around it. You could also put it in a large container. You can buy one of these big plastic containers. You can have containers made up of galvanized sheeting with lids. Put in a wet blanket or some moist paper, water in the bottom, mist them before you close up, and that will also work in most cases. There are also chambers that I've seen at Cdl that's constructed of perspex, or I think plexiglass you call it, in the US. Galvanized sheeting. We can also use ultrasonic humidifiers or running water baths in the bottom of some of these chambers. That's a system I use. I found that very inexpensive and durable.